Hello, hello, hello. It's Attorney Mike Raven coming to you from Chicago. As usual, sorry I had a slight delay. I've got all sorts of good stuff. Let me say some thank yous. Natalie, Kristen, Jay, and April all sent me stuff. If I missed anybody, I apologize. You know if you send it to me. I got more good stuff and I know what to do with here. Let's get it started, shall we?
All right. Then, I have no money to go anywhere. I have the tires on my truck are bald as his head. And so what am I supposed to do? Go live in a cardboard box?
So once again, we'll begin in case number 23-8728SM. And Ms. Mistley?
So Mr. White would like to exercise his right to a hearing with his attorney, Ms. Cadlin, present.
Okay, thank you. Mr. White, you will be remanded to jail until the time of that hearing. We'll get it expedited and you will remain in custody. And then we will move on to case number 23-9480FT. And Ms. Mistley, did you have opportunity to review the allegations on the complaint, nature of the offense, and the possible maximum penalties with Mr. White?
I did, and we will waive a formal reading of the felony complaint, enter pleas of not guilty, and request the assignment of counsel.
Thank you. Mr. White, I'm going to remind you that you have the right to remain silent. Anything that you say orally or in writing can be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present during any questioning. If you could not afford an attorney, the court would appoint one at public expense. You have the right to have the attorney present during all subsequent court proceedings. You have the right to a preliminary examination in this. Mr. White? Yep. Oh, God.
And you have 10 days to appeal this, which will be to May 22nd. I'll show this as a consent. No money judgment is entered at this time. Payment of a partial payment will not prevent the writ of eviction. Now, when you move, you need to turn in your keys and give your forwarding address in writing within 4 days of your moving.
Okay.
And you're consenting to move, so we just entered a consent judgment. I want to repeat something that
Focus bottom right.
I told you that might make more sense. If you do reach an agreement with the plaintiff, which you just did, you agree to move by May 31st. So you're giving up the right to have a hearing and a trial. The judgment may not be enforced until 3 business days had passed. You could move to set aside the judgment within those 3 days if you misunderstood what you consented to or what you were waiving. Your motion to set aside the judgment would be set for a hearing in front of the judge, but if the judge did not find in your favor, the original judgment would stand. Is someone kayaking during their hearing?
Yeah, sorry.
Well, I'm glad this was really important to you, but we'll get to you in just a moment. Holy smokes. All right. Now.
We now call 21-37797. You were Frederick Jamal Armstrong, correct? So present with your attorney, Mr. Adams, and the state's attorney. Does the defendant waive a formal reading of the indictment and arraignment here? Can we proceed in summary?
Yes, sir.
In summary, this indictment, sir, alleges that on or about March 2nd, 2021 in Jefferson County, Texas, you committed the 3rd-degree felony of unlawful possession of a firearm by a previous convicted felon. Are we just going on paragraph 1?
Yes, sir.
You understand what you're charged with here? This isn't the first time you've been charged with this, is it? In the second time you've been charged and convicted of this, is it? This will be your 3rd time? What is it about that crime that you don't understand? And really, and these are all habitual felon status, is he? He's looking at 25 to life. Right?
He could be judge, yes, sir.
You think we're serious about this? Yeah, we are. Why? Sell it to me.
Judge, you got 2 years, and then he got 2 years, and so I doubled what he got.
That sell it to me said it all right there. You're not going to sell it to me, but go ahead and try.
And this was a situation where they were in a parking lot. He was with his family. They were moving. So I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt that he was moving it from one house to the other, but it was in a place in the car that I just can't ignore it. So,
Where, in his lap?
no, it was in the floorboard right by his foot.
This is 25. The minimum is 25.
Yes, sir.
And then
It's the prosecutor feeling the heat here. I've watched enough of this channel. I'm used to it. He likes this prosecutor. He respects this prosecutor, but he's not going for this deal.
I'd originally offered 15 to his previous attorney, but after talking to Mr. Adams and circumstances, I decided that 4 was fair. If the court disagrees, we can back off and redo something else.
well, it's not that firearms don't have a impact on the criminal element
Yes, sir.
in this county,
Yes, sir.
because they do. And you're not even supposed to be near one. Not on my watch.
Yes, sir.
That's all. I'm not taking that. Let a jury do that.
Yes, sir.
They're a minimum of 25. I'm not going to be soft on this kind of baby. You know better. You know better. This is the 3rd time.
Let's
Put it on trial. Let a jury decide.
And don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Don't make Oscar beg. It's rude.
Case, so they weren't being very cooperative for the longest time, even to him.
Good morning, Mr. Graff. Can you hear me?
Good morning. Yes.
Here we are back in my old hometown, Traverse City. It takes a minute, but don't worry, it gets worse.
So I was just telling Mr. Bunt that I wasn't expecting to see a Grand Traverse case. We could move forward with the let's see here. Sir, would you like to proceed, Mr. Graff, with the probation violation arraignment this morning?
That would be fine if the court would allow it. I think it sounds like there was some confusion. Mr. Bunt received a notice for 11 o'clock today. And so we're ready to be arraigned and set this for a hearing at a later date if the court would be obliged.
Okay. Yes. Let's see. And Mr. Graff, so let me go ahead and call the case. It's case 21-5281 FY1. And we have Jacob Bunt present via Zoom with his attorney, Mr. Graff. We're here for a probation violation arraignment. And Mr. Graff, how would your client like to proceed with this?
Good morning, Your Honor. He'd enter a not guilty plea, ask the court to set this for a hearing at a later date, and then we'd also like to, I guess, address bond.
Okay, very good. All right, so I will ask the probation department
He is pretty
to
handsome.
schedule the hearing with Judge Cooney. It looks like there is an active bench warrant currently. And Mr. Graff, what would you like to say about bond?
Thank you, Honor. Your Honor, obviously, late, I guess, after hours yesterday, we finally received the probation violation information on this case. And so we've had very little time to obviously prepare, not knowing specifically what all the allegations were. If the court would look at the notice, it talks about a positive PBT on April 22nd, which I don't think is applicable to Mr. Bunt. And so obviously going into today, until we received that information last night, we were going in somewhat blind. We do have that information. We do have information we'd like to present on his behalf. I guess the one thing is he retained my services. I reached out to try to take care of the warrant. Somehow this got set for hearing as opposed to having him turn himself in. So he has taken a proactive approach and trying to get things under control and get things resolved here. I know that the recommendations asked for him to be remanded pending the hearing, but given that the fact that, one, he's taken the initiative to get this ball rolling, two, as far as I know, there are no new criminal charges, three, he's appearing today knowing what these recommendations are and that the court could place him in jail pending a hearing, but also more importantly, there's a lot of information that we have to present at the time of his hearing regarding what he's accomplished over the last couple of years. I think there may be more information Mr. Bunt would want to get to me now that we know specifically what the allegations are so that we can present a full defense when that time comes. As far as I know, as the court will see from the notice, he resides in Lapeer. He's got a job at the Old Detroit Burger Bar. He just enrolled in college at Mott Community College. And there are a number of other things that obviously we'd be presenting on his behalf about the services that he has participated and completed. Lastly, I was informed this morning that Mr. Bunt has paid off all his fines and costs. And so this has not been, I guess, a complete failure as may be alleged on the information that's been presented to the court. I understand today is not the day for the hearing, but I certainly want the court to have a little bit better idea of how Mr. Bunt presents as in regards to obviously the information they may have had coming into this. And so for those reasons, Your Honor, I would ask the court to consider allowing him to remain out on bond. Obviously, he'll know that he'll have to travel to Traverse City for that hearing and appear in person for it. And it could result in more troubles for him if he doesn't. But I think the fact that he's taken the initiative to get this moving is a step in the right direction and speaks to obviously how much he wants to resolve this and will do so.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Graff. All right. So let me just verify your mailing address, Mr. Bunt.
Yeah. My mailing address is 486.
Oops. I'm going to skip this slightly.
446814.
Thank you. Do you use email?
I do.
What is your email address?
Angelic.
Make it make sense. Okay. Let's see.
And we will have the probation department schedule this for an in-person hearing that will take place at the courthouse in Grand Traverse County. This is an unusual case. This is a pretty serious, the underlying charges with this, and I'm not unsympathetic for what Mr. Graff is saying. It sounds like you've been actively working on sobriety and improving yourself, but I don't have any verification of any of that having taken place. I don't think it would have been outside the realm of your recovery to contact probation. You did.
I know.
Hold on just a minute. Mr. Bunt, it's not your turn to talk. Hold on, please. You've been just kind of hanging out there. No one has had any idea of what you're doing, what you have been doing, the things you've accomplished. And I guess I'm not understanding why you didn't simply reach out. We have tools and resources here. You had every opportunity for, it looks like, a couple of years.
Can you feel the remand tonight?
To just try to reach out and catch up before it came to this crossroads here. So with that being said, let's see. At some point, did you say you were going to turn yourself in?
Yes, I was going to be turning myself in after my graduation. One of the things on probation was to get my GED, and I did accomplish that. Jake Graff has a photocopy of my diploma. I will be walking and getting a cap and gown. I'm already enrolled in the MOT. I went through some mental health issues and am still actively getting help from CMH. I have a signed waiver of release information for the courts. I've been working. I know there is no proof of me showing my recovery, and I know it probably doesn't look good on you guys, but I did improve myself, and I take full responsibility for my wrongdoings in the past. And I don't want to just have my freedom like you get when you get out of jail. I don't just want freedoms. I want to be successful. I want to do the things everyone tells you should do and you can do. And, I want to I'm going into college to get associates in business. I want to be an entrepreneur and follow in my father's footsteps.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Bont. And I do appreciate that. And I don't want you to look at this as a setback in your recovery. I want you to look at this as moving forward and getting closure with this, okay? And that's just going to help you and build a strong foundation for continuing to move forward down there in Lapeer. So at this time, I'm going to ask you to make arrangements to come turn yourself into the Grand Traverse County Jail. The probation department will set this for a hearing. I would ask them to set it for the fastest, soonest possible date so that we can get this thing expedited.
The officer wants me to sit a year. I'm not going to go to college. I get out of jail when I'm 26. It takes me 4 years to get a degree. By the time I have money, I'm going to be old as
Mr.
fuck.
Bunt, please stop. I want you to continue moving forward. I can't look at the facts of the past and just allow this to continue on this way. So I am going to ask that you turn yourself in by 7 p.m. tonight.
I don't even have a license. I can't get up there that fast. I have a job. I got bills. I got to drop out of college. No, I won't be able to get my walk. I will everything I work hard
Mr.
for. I
Bunt,
won't be able to do.
I'm going to have to mute you. I've muted you. I want you to know that this is a first step in getting closure for this case. And you had every opportunity to make a step forward.
This is cold. She just remands him. She sounds like a kindergarten school teacher while she does it, and then she mutes him. I don't know who she is, but I like her.
And I appreciate that you did contact the court, but you haven't followed through. So, Mr. Graff, would you want a brief breakout room with your client?
Sure, that'd be fine. I don't want to hold up the court's time. I can call him after court as well.
Meanwhile, his attorney, I think, is smooth as all get out. He made a nice presentation. Right here is sort of like, not like if you want me to, Judge, but I really don't think I can turn him around right now, which he can't. He's like, I'll just call him later.
Okay. I'm not sure if it would be easier for you to try to talk to him right now, or if you'd just rather end this.
Oh, I didn't notice this. He let the man bun down. He is serious now.
For now, and give him a call.
I'll give him a call here, and I don't want to use up the court's time. Mr. Bond, just so you know, you didn't get a year in jail today. You're being remanded pending your hearing, which will come up pretty soon. I understand you're disappointed, but you're not getting the year as they recommended as of right now, okay? But I'll give you a call.
Exactly.
Thank you, Mr. Graff.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I thought that myself.
Crazy.
You created the problem you have, not me.
I object to this whole hearing. Let's go. I'm done.
All right, Mr. Walker, please prepare another order on contempt.
According to this, Mr. Bradley, it's a motion for exclusive temporary possession of marital home.
Yes, Your Honor. He doesn't want to seem to move out.
Well, you saw a little snippet of him if you saw the very beginning of the video, but this guy's a hoot. It takes a minute, but it just descends.
He admitted that she should have control of the house in his answer. And so we're just going to set a date when he can possibly move out.
Mr. Young, this is a motion asking that your wife be granted temporary possession of the marital home on an exclusive possession, meaning that it's not awarding ownership of it, it's just giving her, he's asking that she be given exclusive possession of the home. That means you'd have to move out. You can oppose that, and I'll grant you a hearing here this morning, and I'll make a determination as to who should be required to move out, if anyone. You understand?
I would like that hearing, please.
All right. Then,
I have no money to go anywhere. I have the tires on my truck are bald as his head. And so what am I supposed to do? Go live in a cardboard box?
have a seat right there at that table, and we'll tell you in just a few minutes. It goes,
Is there a public defendant in this county?
there is a public defender for criminal cases, not for civil cases. You do not have the right to have an attorney.
Thank you. Your
All right. Mr. Bradley, you may call your first witness.
Come on. Up to the stand.
Did he just say Mr. Gravlin? I don't know. That's weird to me.
Ms. Young, if you'll raise your right hand, let's place you under oath.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you shall not give in this case will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
All right, Ms. Young, if you'll come around and have a seat in the witness stand, please. All right, Mr. Bradley, you may ask.
Okay, station name.
Miranda Lynn Young,
I felt like I had to talk.
Y'all live at where?
640 Cruise Hollow, Waverly, Tennessee.
And whose name is that property in?
It is in my name solely.
Where did it come from?
It was my mother's property, and she gave it to my brother to hold, and it was basically for her until she passed. And then my brother kept the farm part, and I got the house.
So you inherited that property?
Yes, sir.
And apparently y'all been married for a few years?
19 years.
19 years. And he's disabled, I believe, isn't he?
He is. He's been drawing disability for probably 5 years.
Okay. And has he, recent times, has he gotten irritable with you?
Yes, he gets very
Exactly.
aggressive verbally, hostile,
Exactly.
belligerent, those kinds of things.
And are you disabled or are you working or what?
I'm working. I've had three back surgeries and all sorts of medical issues, but I still get up and go to work every day because I have to make some money to survive. And I have an 18-year-old child that's in college, 19 now, that's in college, and I'm trying to help with her.
So you think because of your health and all, you don't need all the aggravation of him irritating?
Yes, sir. My doctors even told me that it's not a good situation emotionally for me.
And you don't mind giving him time to find a place?
Not at all. He's been saying since she was 17 and in high school that he wasn't going to leave until she turned 18 so that he wouldn't have to pay child support. Then he said he'd be gone by the time she went to college. She's now ready to come back for the summer and he's still here. I need him out.
Okay. That's about all I have, Brian.
All right.
But I throw a question to
Sure.
Mr. Young, come up to the podium.
Thank you, sir.
I am going to give you a chance to testify, so what you ask right now needs to be in the form of a question. You understand that?
I believe I can.
You know
Okay.
this will be good, right?
Can you, Miranda, give me a date when I supposedly was aggressive towards you? or a situation where you can explain it to the judge?
If you don't like answers you get very belligerent. If you are asked to do something, you get very belligerent. Lately, since
Okay, this guy's out of line, but I just like the answer. If you get asked to do something, i.e., told to do something, you get belligerent. Okay, probably so. Try to do it the other way around.
this court's coming up, you're trying to be real nice, but I know it's not going to last. It's been ongoing for years. Your child doesn't want to be around you.
Have you in any way poisoned our child against me?
No, honey, she can see it for herself.
You know you're under oath, right?
Yes.
Why are you lying?
That's not a question that it's appropriate.
That's not a question, is there, Oliver? Okay, I withdraw.
Not an appropriate question.
There is probably some validity to the things this man's saying, but he just does not know how to present it, and I'm sorry, it's humorous.
What is the real reason you're doing this?
I want you out of the house.
Why?
Because I can't emotionally keep taking your behavior.
I'll sit back down.
All right. Mr. Bradley, you have any follow-up questions? All right. Thank you, ma'am. You may step down, Ms. Young. You have any other witnesses, Mr. Bradley?
No, Your Honor, we just asked the court to be given possession of her house.
I mean, I don't mean to take sides. I really don't. But the truth is probably somewhere in between. They're probably both insufferable, like all human beings. I'm not even knocking them. That's the reality of the situation. But boy, did he not present his case well.
All right. Mr. Young, do you want to testify?
Yes, sir.
Come right up here and we'll let you testify.
I will.
Oh, fantastic. First a cross-examination, then actual testimony. What could be better?
Raise your right hand. Let the clerk place you under oath.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you shall not give in this case shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
So help me God.
Thank you. Have a seat.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. I'm a little bit hard of hearing it.
I understand that. Don't worry about it.
You're on a tank range message you're hearing of.
You can tell me now whatever you want me to hear about this motion for exclusive possession.
Well, I was under the understanding that when the house was passed to us, we both inherited it. But I guess I was wrong.
You were.
Also, in the original paperwork that was sent to me by her esteemed lawyer here, they stated I was physical and mental abuse towards her. That's a blatant lie. I have no way ever raised my hand to her in anger. Never. I was raised different. I was raised to respect women. And my dad would raise out of his grave and drag me to hell if I ever hit a woman in anger. So I'd like his apology on that statement, on that paperwork.
Oh yeah, he's Gabby.
As of moving out, I have no place to go. I have no money. I make $1,260 a month for disability. She makes at least 4, if not 5 times what I make. She thinks I'm going to help pay for her lawyer. I'll give him a penny out of my pocket, and that's about it. That's all I got to afford to give him. But I got bills to pay, loans to pay off, so I can leave this bloody damn town. And this state, I'll go back to Kentucky where I belong. But I need at least 2 months to get things squared away here.
Your Honor, I have no problem with giving him 2 months.
All right, we'll give him 2 months.
That's what she said.
Let me explain to you, Mr. Young. she owns this property under the law of the state of Tennessee because it was inherited property. That makes it her separate property.
Okay.
So she's going to have the right to possess that separate property. And if you two are going through a divorce, she's necessarily going to be given it. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you 60 days, 2 months is what you asked for, to let you get your stuff squared away. But in this order, it's also going to say that you two don't fuss or fight, and won't be any arguing or anything taking place, okay?
There won't be. Not my...
In Tennessee, the order probably literally says, don't fuss and fight. Okay, I kid.
Not my part. Now, if she assaults me again, do I need to inform you of that?
You don't need to inform me. You need to call the police if you claim she's...
Well, I don't have a phone.
Okay.
I'd have to borrow her cell phone to make a call.
Well, then maybe you should do that. Ask her to borrow her phone so you can call the police and tell them that she's assaulted you. But the point, I'm not being facetious. I'm just simply saying you can report that to this court, but you, number one, you filed your own answer. You have to go to the sheriff's department and make a report if that were to happen.
Get my truck to go over there and report it.
But you need to understand that you have to, if you make a report of an assault, it has to be truthful, or else it can be made a false report. I'm not saying you would. I'm just saying.
Can I ask you, in the state of Tennessee, what defines an assault?
A wrongful touching of another person, laying hands on somebody, or placing someone in immediate fear for their safety.
So in other words, if I was sitting at, say, the dining room table, and she stomps in and smacks the hell out of me and starts yelling at me because I didn't have the dishes washed, because I've been sick all day with diarrhea, that's an assault, right?
I'm not going to answer questions because I'm prohibited from giving an advisory opinion in matters. I'm simply, you ask me a question, I'll loosely define what assault is. Talk to the district attorney's office if you want more information about what.
I can't afford an attorney. What little I make. So.
Well, you asked for 60 days. I'm giving you 60 days to vacate the house. Okay.
Today, right?
In the meantime, there's this order that Mr. Bradley's going to draw up. Is going to restrain her and you from assaulting each other, threatening each other, or arguing or fussing and fighting. Okay.
That's fine. Now. That's Mr. Bradley, right?
The last time I checked.
Well, okay. Now, I'll have to sign this piece of paper, right?
You don't have to sign it. He's going to send you a copy.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Just wait for your copy. He can send it to you at the house. He'll get that done real quickly, I'm sure.
Can we put a date on that 60 days?
Certainly.
Maybe we need to do that and like a eviction notice or something.
I don't need no eviction notice. I'm going to be gone. Okay, old man?
That's all we asked.
No, what about the property that we bought together or the one I paid for?
That'll be for a final hearing in the divorce case. This is not the final hearing.
Oh, we still got to go through more of this.
Yeah, you're going to have to come back in front of Judge Wallace or Judge Lockhart Mash, maybe. I don't know. You filed your answer, so it can be ready for y'all to file it after you move out of the house. July 16th. That's a Sunday. That'll be the day he has to vacate.
July 16th.
Right.
Okay, I can live with that.
And he's already admitted in his answer that she owned the house.
Well, that's just fine. She can have the house.
We're not litigating that issue, Mr. Bradley.
I don't have to. Since you're kicking me out into the street, I don't have to do more repair work or anything around the house anymore, do I?
No, you don't.
Hot damn, all right. I can take those screws out.
Why don't you step down and let's let you get on your way before you get yourself in any further trouble. All right?
I didn't know I was in trouble. You have a nice day.
Yeah, well, that's not likely, but thank you.
Have a blessed day instead.
Not likely.
Thank you, young man. I don't want to see you.
I don't either. Thank you, Judge.
Mr. Knowles.
I haven't seen this judge in forever. He was a judge that presided over the whole naked sandwich case. He's fantastic.
Please tell me you have something simple.
Miss Lane, this is our Chief Public Defender, Mr. Keith Stickley, joining us. And he doesn't know too much about this since I gave him 10 minutes lead time. Good afternoon, Keith.
Good afternoon, Judge.
Debbie is here also, and she was hopeful maybe we could resolve this right now. And so let's see where we are. The case is People versus Cassidy Brook Lane. She was charged with 2 counts of assault and battery in Montville Township in December of 2020. She came in for her arraignment after she was arrested. She pled not guilty. And it took a while. This happened in December, was authorized in February. She didn't get arrested until May. She pled not guilty at an arraignment. We set an attorney pretrial. She posted bond, and then she never showed up again. I did a show cause to have her try to come in. She didn't show up. I did another show cause. She still didn't show up. So I issued a warrant and forfeited her bond later on in June of 2021. She called the court last July, to ask about this warrant. I'm sure they advised her to come in here. Well, she didn't. So she got arrested last night. Miss Lane, how'd you come to get arrested last night?
I was just hanging out, charging my phone last night, and then the cop come up, asked us our names.
Where were you?
Bronson Park in Kalamazoo, and I didn't know I wasn't supposed to be there charging my phone.
Well, that doesn't sound like much of a breach of the peace to me, but then they found you had this warrant from St. Joe County.
Yeah, and I didn't know it. Like, I've been trying to get up the money to pay it. I've been struggling really bad.
Bronson Park is a gathering place for homeless people. Are you presently living on the street in Kalamazoo?
No. I was just seeing a friend of mine because today's a friend's birthday. I actually moved into my apartment, my first apartment, June 1st.
All right, where will that be?
That was in Ohio.
Where have you been living?
I was in Detroit for a while, but I've been living in Sturgis.
All right, well, here's the deal. That this guy that you were living with alleges that the landlord wanted to kick you guys out of there, Mr. John Laws. He says you punched him in the nose, and then you also assaulted Mr. Neely. You had an assault charge in 2018. I gave you 1 day in jail. It was reduced to disturbing the peace. Then you had a domestic violence in 2019 where we tried a deferral and it failed, and your probation was violated. And I gave you 33 days in jail and revoked your probation. Dan Frazine was your probation officer. Then this got charged from happening in 2020, and then you just went off the grid in 2021. So, Deborah, it's a 2-count domestic that's 2.5 years old. Do you have any thought on this?
Your Honor, if she wants to plead to a disturbing the peace today, we would dismiss the remaining charges.
Well, let me explain that for a minute. Disturbing the peace is a misdemeanor. It's punishable by up to 93 days in jail. 90 days in jail, excuse me. It's a simple misdemeanor and up to $500 fine. You already pled to one of these a few years ago and got a day in jail and a fine. And the case would be over. There'd be no longer a bench warrant for your arrest. I'm going to let you talk to Mr. Stickley, the public defender, about this in a private space. And I want you to click the button that says join when you see it come up. Then we'll talk to you and see what you want to do, okay? All right, here goes. Thank you, Keith. While they're doing that, let's talk about our scheduled pretrial, which was scheduled for 5 minutes ago. People versus Evan Ennis Billings. Casey Johnson is here by special appeal.
And at this point, we would offer a disturbing the peace to him and a dismissal the remainder.
Enjoyed stopping in for a moment.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
It is deferrable, meaning if you complete a program.
To you as well, and I got a certificate for completing that class, Your Honor.
So they're going to fix your alcohol problem, a one-day Saturday morning class, and everything's all better?
Well, the alcohol problem is my responsibility, and that's what the class taught me as far as ways to manage. There's a lot of objectives and methods.
When's the last time you had a drink?
It's been quite some time, last year.
This happened in November. When did you last have a drink after that?
I believe it was sometime in December.
Miss Lane, the same plea offer is made to you of disturbing the peace. Both defendants do have a right to have an attorney. Mr. Stickley is here in advisory capacity for Miss Lane. You've retained Mr. LeBray. If you had a trial, you would have the right to have an attorney, obviously appointed or retained. That trial could be in front of a judge or in front of a jury. By pleading guilty to that charge, there will be no trial. If you had a trial, you'd have a right to have any of the witnesses for or against you subpoenaed to come to court so they could be questioned under oath. You would have the right to take the witness stand yourself and testify, but you don't have to because you have a right not to testify. And if you did not wish to testify, the judge or jury cannot hold your silence against you. Do you understand?
Yes.
Did anybody threaten you to get you to plead to this charge?
No, Your Honor.
Or promise you anything?
No, Your Honor.
All right, tell me what happened on November 25th with your son, Caden.
On that evening, we had Thanksgiving dinner over at my wife's parents' house with the kids as well. We got home and the kids were upstairs playing games, board games. My wife and I was downstairs.
I sure am.
Pretty much adults are hanging out downstairs and the kids are playing games. This
proud graduate
at this time
High
when
School.
Caden came down, I think he saw my wife and I hanging out together. He made the judgment of coming down and questioning pretty much what was going on. And I felt intruded upon. I didn't, with drinking and everything, I didn't handle the situation as well as I could. And I started, yelling at him, and I sat him down in the chair and said, if you want to see what's going on down here, have a seat. And he took that, in a threatening way and ended up, unbeknownst to me, leaving. I guess he went out of the house and called his mom, and then I believe that she's the one that called the police. Upon when the police arrived, based on the situation and condition I was in, I didn't felt that it was a good idea to speak with them. So the kids ended up going home with their mom. My niece, who lives with us, went with my wife's parents.
What were you drinking?
I think it was Captain Morgan.
How much?
Maybe between my wife and I, half a bottle.
Had a little captain in him.
Bottles come in different sizes. What size was the size bottle?
I meant to cut this out, but it was worth it just for that.
Debbie, is that acceptable factual basis?
Yes, Your Honor.
What would you like me to do here?
Well, Your Honor, the goal was to try to correct the issues that led to this behavior. Obviously, parents have the right to discipline their children, and this appeared to be a little more than what I would think is reasonable under the circumstances. That being said, it appears there have been some custody or parenting time issues between the parties and with this child at the age that he is. His victim impact statement more related to not wanting to go to parenting time or have it be mandatory parenting time. So taking that into consideration, the idea was that if Mr. Billings addressed the alcohol issue, which appeared to be the underlying issue, that we would reduce it on the thought that, getting him into treatment would be the catalyst to change for the parenting time issues that they're having. So with that, I would leave it to the court's discretion as to what sentence is appropriate.
Is the boy 18 now?
He'll be 18 in October 4th.
Okay. Mr. LeBray, what would you like me to know?
Some background on the defendant, Your Honor, is he is 42 years old. He is college educated and pursuing his master's. He has no mental health concerns or physical health concerns. Alcohol has been a factor for him in having it under control. He does have prior criminal convictions related to alcohol.
Just a minute. Miss Lane, try to stop pulling your shirt up. We're on on a live feed here, and that happened once before, just for your own sake. Soon as we finish this case, we'll address yours. Go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. He does have military, he did serve in the military Army National Guard. He was discharged honorably in 2006 as a specialist. He was a truck driver. As far as the facts and circumstances of this case, Your Honor, what he did not make more plain is he and his wife were in the beginning stages of being intimate, although she was fully dressed. He came down and interrupted their private time, and that is what triggered the reaction from him. From his towards his son for interrupting that moment between them, and he grabbed him by his shoulders and shook him and sat him down. That being said, I think that the charge and the conviction for disturbing the peace, given the family dynamic here, is appropriate. We would ask that the court consider no jail time and minimal to probation, if any. Thank you.
That's normally what we do with disturbing the peace. Is he not living with you now?
No, he's not.
No, that's unfortunate.
Thank you, Purple Ghost Dragon. I saw
lifetime to repair this. 1 day jail credit, 1 day. $75 crime victims' rights fee, $75 fine, and a $50 state minimum fee. That is pretty much the standard sentence for disturbing the peace with some variations. I think this was a time for you to take a look in the mirror, see whether alcohol is creeping up on you. I had mixed feelings about it. The cops came and they said you were obviously intoxicated. You were in your own home. You chose not to talk to them. Maybe the best thing to do when you're drunk is not talk to them. Might have just gone downhill from there. So I guess you had enough sense to not get into it any further with the police. What do you do, sir?
I'm an engineering projects manager.
Where's that?
Firefly in Middlebury, Indiana.
All right. What do they make?
Control panel touch screens for the RV industry. You control the slides, lights, and various components.
All right. I don't know what else I'm going to accomplish here. Either I'll see you again or I won't. Hopefully I won't. $200 due by June 10. Pay right now if you want to with a credit card. And I don't know what to say. A very brief affidavit, brief set of facts. As often as the case, alcohol was under it. This was a wake up for you and your family and a shake up. You're good to go, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Miss Lane, we'll return now to your case. See you again, Mr. LeBray.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good day.
Mr. Stickley, you've had an opportunity to discuss the prosecutor's plea offer with her.
I have, Your Honor. We had a chance to go over her rights options and, the situation. She wishes to take advantage of the prosecutor's offer and plead guilty and accept responsibility to disturbing the peace.
All right, Miss Lane, anybody threaten you to get you to plead to that charge?
No, sir.
Or promise you anything?
No, sir.
All right. Tell me what happened.
You talk about the night in 2020?
Yes. December 6th of 2020 at your apartment.
Zachariah John Loans, he asked me when I was moving out, and I told him, I said, next week, I found a place for me to move to next week, and he told me, no, I want you out now. And I'm like, I told him you're on eviction notice set next week, not now. You can't go against that. And it turned out that eviction notice was fake. And then he started trying to hit me, so I started trying to defend myself, and then he tried choking me. And my friend saved me, and then Taylor Neely, I actually didn't hit him. I didn't actually mean to hit him. I was trying to hit Zachariah John Lowe's because he was trying to hit me, and I accidentally hit Taylor, and Taylor thought that I was actually trying to hit him. Me and Taylor's already talked a long time ago about this. He said he's called you guys and told you guys that.
Well, he may have talked to the prosecutor. He didn't talk to me, but that may be why they're willing to reduce this. Well, where have you been for 2.5 years?
I've been in Detroit.
Doing what?
Trying to get my shit together.
Yeah, it's a tough process. I mean, you can get as much trouble here as you can in Detroit. Where did you live in Detroit?
I live with my best friend. My best friend, I've known him since we were in first grade.
What part of Detroit?
Over at 7 Mile Van Dyke on the east side.
Judge Bryant's old neighborhood.
I went to law school in Detroit. Did you ever have a job while you were there?
Yeah, I was working at a car wash for a minute with my best friend.
Where are your parents? I don't think she did that. Debbie, now I can't hear you.
You're good. I thought we had the internet issue
you're
over there. I was muted, so you didn't hear me clicking away.
I'm trying to see if I'm crazy or not.
Well,
all right, let me see what's going on. Hi, Deputy Keeley. I lost Cassidy Lane. Are we having trouble with the internet again? She was there, and I don't think she did anything. She just blipped off screen. All right, thanks. Bye.
Ah, yes. Riveting law talk with Mike Dead Air.
I thought you might come in then. What happened?
I pigeon. I was born in Three Rivers Hospital.
Okay, so was I. Different one. All right, so you were in Detroit, you were in Kalamazoo. You called a year ago and said, hey, what about that old warrant? I thought you might come in then. What happened after that?
I was trying to get the money for to pay and shit, but then I found out my mom had Parkinson's, so like I ended up having a lot going on.
Where was your mom?
West Virginia.
All right. Where do you stay now?
I stay with a friend of mine in Sturgis right now until I move into my apartment. But I was actually about to.
Where's your apartment?
In Ohio. My best friend and I just got an apartment together, and we're moving June 1st. Well, I was supposed to move in with her at her apartment she has now until we move into her new one. I was gonna go there. I was moving there tomorrow. I just was here for a friend's birthday. That's today.
Well, you've got a lot of best friends. All right. So your friend right now lives in Three Rivers?
No.
Well, if I let you out of jail, where are you gonna stay tonight? Where are you gonna sleep tonight?
Oh, I'm gonna go to my sister's. I'm gonna go stay at my sister's in Schoolcraft area.
Another player to be named later. All right.
Oh, you know my sister.
Who's your sister?
Kelsey Lane.
Okay. And who is the friend that lives in Three Rivers?
Okay, I'm not familiar with it, but if Judge knows her sister, it's because she's in trouble.
I don't have no friends that live in Three Rivers. I never said anything about Three Rivers.
Oh, well, who's the friend you're moving to Ohio with?
Oh, her name is Kiera Mullins. That's actually my best friend.
Okay, I know her. I just can't get a grip on this. I use a lot of cliches, cork bobbing in the ocean, sparrow in a hurricane.
So I'm really trying to get on my feet and stay out of trouble. I've been trying to stay out of trouble, get on my feet and do
Well,
better.
how'd you end up in Kalamazoo?
I was just out there visiting a friend real quick, and then I was just walking around town because like I was bored. So like, and I just had to charge my phone real fast, and I seen a friend of mine walking, so I asked if
well, how did you get to Kalamazoo?
I got a ride.
All right. Well, it just seems like you're homeless.
No, I stayed with a friend of mine in Kalamazoo. I was staying with a friend in Kalamazoo. I just went for a walk and stuff because I was really bored.
You're also quite itchy twitchy, which all says methamphetamine.
It's because my anxiety.
Okay, well, it is nerve-wracking to be in court.
What was that, methamphetamine? I don't know, it just made me laugh. Judge says what we're all thinking. I'm feeling homeless and meth here. I'm not, just the vibe I'm getting.
I tried a probation, that failed. You got a temper.
That was because I had no good transportation. Now I actually will have better transportation. Because my sister actually has a car now.
Yeah, it's so good that I haven't seen you in 2.5 years. Debbie, you got any further input on this?
I don't. I checked WebJamming to see if I could get an idea of who arrested her, how, and it just says that Deputy Peters from our county picked her up in the Schoolcraft area. So
Would the Kalamazoo cops drive you to the county line or something?
They drove me to McDonald's and Schoolcraft.
Okay. So I'm guessing there's no additional charges in Kalamazoo County. They just said you had a warrant and then contacted our county. Okay.
Did they buy anything to eat?
You said what?
Did they buy anything to eat at McDonald's?
No, we just the cop car from St. Joe. It was already there when we pulled up.
I know where there's free lodging.
Not going to accomplish very much here. I'm just concerned that you're going to be standing on the front steps of the sheriff's department with nowhere to go.
No, all I gotta do is call my sister. My sister will come get me. That's all I gotta do.
All right.
And it looks like she was booked in at just around midnight.
Are you on probation anywhere else?
No, sir.
Okay. Other than the car wash, what other kind of work have you done?
I've worked at Subway. I've worked at a Mexican restaurant. I worked at BP in Middlebury. And I said, we're going to get a job now. I just did a job application where my best friend works at in Ohio. And I'm supposed to move. I'm supposed to go there tomorrow. And I've already done the job application and everything.
Your Honor, it looks like she has maybe 5 days credit back in 21.
Oh, yes. Apparently she's starting a new job.
5/21 of 21. Looks like she was booked in on this case.
Yeah,
21-270.
I'm going to give 6 days credit, 6 days, $125, which I'll probably never see. Thought about leaving her in jail till she pays $125, but I'm not supposed to do that anymore. 125 due by June 30th. I'm just scared for your well-being. You've got
No, I'm actually
no
doing a lot.
support. I'm afraid
No,
something
I do a lot of
bad
support,
happened to you.
actually. My sister supports me a lot. So does my family. Like, I'm actually doing a lot better. I'm actually starting to get on my feet. I'm like actually been really proud of myself. That's why I was just coming to visit a friend, and then I'm moving to Ohio to get on my feet and do better. And I'm really proud of myself for it. That's why I've been staying out of trouble. Because I don't want to go to jail. I don't want to get in trouble no more. I don't want no warrants no more. I just want to do better.
All right. 6 days credit, 6 days. You and I are like a Martian talking to a Venusian. We're not on the same wavelength, but you seem like someone who doesn't want to get in more trouble. 6 days credit, 6 days, $125 due by June 30th. So you're going to get released from the jail shortly. Hopefully someone will come get you. You won't be standing here in the village of Centerville with rain in your shoes. All right.
Right. No, I just get on my phone and call my sister, and she'll come get me.
All right. All right.
Because she
you're good
lives
to
like
go.
right in the middle of Schoolcraft in Three Rivers, so it's not too far away.
All right. Hopefully she'll come pick you up. Thank you. All right. Good luck. Thank you, Keith.
Yep. Have a good day.
Okay. I don't even know what else to say. Anyway, that finishes what we got.
Well, there you have it. A wild ride all over the place. All over the place. Traverse City. I think that court is, I think Judge Wolf is in Tennessee, but someone said that Kentucky. But the grandpa guy, he said, I want to go back to Kentucky where I belong. I don't know. I don't know what states we were even in here. Mostly Michigan, I guess. What else do we have on there? I can't remember. There was so much. Judge Wolf is in Tennessee. Okay. Tennessee and Michigan today. But just crazy stuff everywhere. Judge Middleton getting folksy with this and all of this stuff. That one took a while to develop. Sorry I left the Captain Morgan bit in there, but even that I ended up enjoying. I did. You guys are the best. Thanks for coming out. I will see y'all soon.